Let's go ahead and get things started today. It's going to be a quick one. By watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There's significant financial risk associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Let's go ahead and hop right into things. So Friday, top call options flow went into NVIDIA, PDD, Tesla, TLT, and MU. This is on Friday. On the put side, top options flow went into Apple, CRM, Microsoft, Gold, and ELV. For the full week, the top call options flow went into NVIDIA, ARM, PDD, FSLR, UPS. On the put side for the week, Apple, Tesla, UNH, MRK, and CVX. Let's move right along. Okay, so I jump right into this screen. Profit highlights. I'm just highlighting a few new members that joined the community following the process, making money. Bill G, first trade for me since joining. Thank you. Looking forward to June. Made a nice profit for his first trade. Josh, shout out to Josh. What's up, bro? First trade, paid for my first week. Looking forward to next week. And we got Joey. Joey profited on the snow trade. So we got two QQQ profits and a snow trade. Shout out to the new traders in the community coming in and making money. Let's keep this thing going. All right. So 2025 totals. This is our total yearly profit summary. So I did this a new way so you can kind of get the breakdown. So from January 2nd through May 30th of 2025, our average weekly profit is around $1,700. Average monthly profit around $6,800. The average profit per trade is 200%. And the total net profit generated for 2025 is $32,196. Now, this is based off of one contract. So that means for every trade that I alert, you only grab one contract. This is the ultimate risk management strategy, and it's great making all of this money. And all you had to leverage was the cost of one option per trade. This is great. So for the $250 membership, that's a 13,678% ROI on that for the year. And for the 175 membership, that's a 19,540% ROI. So we burning the market down, been crushing things this year. And again, like I said, these totals reflect per net profits based on purchasing just a single contract per trade alert as recommended. All right. So let's just go through the profits really quickly. Just the table. We always do an update as we go. So and this is important. The reason this is important is because following the process, when you follow the process, you make money. For the first month of this year, January, we cleared $4,600. These are net profits. For February, we cleared $8,400. For March, we cleared $6,100. And here's May, $6,400. So $6,400 for the month of May. And there's still some profits to be determined for some trades that we swung. So let's just see how things are going again. So for the month of May, if you just follow this process, like I said, there are going to be losses and there are going to be wins. There are going to be some trades that get cut. There are going to be some trades that don't get cut, right? But if you follow the process, because everyone should be starting this a certain way. Everyone should be, if you're starting the trade, you should start with a certain amount in your account, because again, I always tell my team and in the options trading Bible, you shouldn't trade with more than 20% of your total available cash to trade, because if you die, we will, you have 4 lives left. Some people come in here thinking they're making all of this money, so we're just gonna do what we want to do. We're gonna come in here and I only got $500. I'm gonna take my last 500, get in this trade. A trade get cut, and now you're dead in the water. And you say the process don't work, and then you can't do stuff like that. So let's just try to follow this process. Look at how things work out every month. So there hasn't been a month this year where we haven't cleared over, since we only had 1 month with 4,600, I'll say we hadn't had a month under $4,600 in net profits at the end of the month. So great way to end May, June. Today's June 1st. I'm live down here in Puerto Rico, just tapping in with the team just to give y'all an update on what's going on in the market. Let's move right along. Market talk. So KK, do you have anything you want to add, or it's anything you want to say for market
Hey
talk?
everybody. I think we had a phenomenal month again. You know, since one thing that I think I love about our group is that we are transparent. So I do want to discuss a play that came out this week, Target. It was an earnings play that I did
Last week.
advise Antoine that I did not think we should put the team in the play. But he wants everybody to make a lot of money and the potential for a big move was there. But managing those type of plays, I think, are not for everybody. If things don't give us that big move, you have to know how to manage the play and what your plan is. And I don't think that everybody is there yet. And that was one of the reasons I said, not to call the play. But the main reason is, I know what it is when things don't work out and how that affects morale. And so I don't urge those certain type of plays to get called in a group anymore, just from past experience. But I just want to know like what your thoughts are on that and
Well,
like
my
what do you
thoughts are, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish your question.
no,
Go ahead.
that was all I was saying.
Yeah, well, my thoughts are I feel like well, I should have listened to you, number one. You said not to put the team in that strangle. And it's okay. Like I said, it was I like to take high probability risk. And if we are going to trade a YOLO like a earnings play, it has to be and I'm gonna put the whole team in it. It has to be something that has the potential for a high probability trade. This was the first earnings the Target had since the whole DEI stuff happened, and the boycott, and we already saw the headlines of how much money the business was losing, and how much revenue, how much of the salary got cut from the CEO, stuff like that. So this was a good opportunity to take advantage of this opportunity, the that catalyst, right? And play that earnings, and they had a bull flag, I'm sorry, bear flag on the daily chart, and it was just set up perfectly, right? And Target missed earnings and was down like $15 in the pre-market before before they open, right? It was
Right.
down like, and then the we had some headlines that came out with Trump, and the market kind of bounced a little bit. At market open, those Target puts they were down. The Target puts they were up, but
Mhm.
like I told the team, I said, nope, we got a whole month on this play. What we're gonna do, because I'm gonna tell you, the Target wasn't a bad play. Let's put it there. Target wasn't a bad play, but it didn't yield the move that we were looking for. Now, a lot of people, they said, you know what? At market open, the puts were up. I took profit on that, and I closed the rest. I closed the rest of the position out. Some people did that. I told everybody. I said, listen, we got on Zoom that day. I said, team, do not just hold on to the. If you ain't take profit on those puts, that's fine. Hold the whole position because we got a month on these contracts. Let it play out. I give it some time to play out, and but the issue is people don't have patience. They want instant gratification. And the thing is with me, I like to put uh, risk management parameters in place. So if things don't go right, it's like when things go off, when a play goes off without a hitch, then everybody can make money. Even a caveman can make money if you just got to follow a process and all you had to do was buy and sell. But it get a little shaky when you try to fake it till you make it, not following the process as a whole and just only following parts of it. So like just with this target play, for example, if you only use 20% of your total available cash to trade, you have time to sit in the target play and let it play out. If you followed the clause, or the part right before I alert an earnings play to say the earnings are extremely risky and it could trade in the middle and you can lose everything. So don't think that this strangle could play and you be successful. It's a guarantee win. It's not a guaranteed win. You could lose everything on this trade, you know. And if you don't have the patience, or you know, risky certain any trades that's marked as YOLO, certain people don't take them trades anyway. If you don't understand a strangle, don't take this trade. All of these things that I put out there before I alert the trade. And some people like to fake it till they make it. They say, well, they did this on the last trade, so I'm gonna jump in this trade because I want to make this money. I know I can make this money off this trade. And then that doesn't happen right away, and then people start getting antsy and start you know, and it becomes an issue. So that's where the mishaps come in. So as far as what I think that people should, if you can't take the heat, then get out the kitchen. I mean, it's like certain, I'm not gonna, if I know that I don't want to be in a situation where okay, this ain't just a small lake, that's the ocean, and it's a big possibility that some ripped current could come and this boat could capsize, and now we gotta swim. And everybody, okay, well, I can swim, you know, but I'm like, if I don't want to put myself in a situation where that could possibly happen, so I'm not gonna go on this mission with you.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
so I'm not gonna go. Yeah, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation like that. That's why I always there's levels to everything. And if you know for sure that you aren't ready for that, you can't just say, okay, well, look, we in this situation, and you know, and like I'm in this situation, and I know that the last few trades were successful, and I don't care what he's saying about the risk. I mean, you know, like they teach you when you get on, every time you get on a plane, you know, they show you like if in an event of an emergency, your air mask gonna come down from here, you know, and this is the emergency exit. Are you willing and able to do this if you're in an exit row? They ask you these questions. If people just say, yeah, they don't really be paying attention at all or whatever, and then if a situation actually happens, now you're under pressure, and you can't do it, or you don't want to do it, and you don't remember what the protocol was now. So it's like, and when people clam up in these emergency situations, and that's what they do, it's like, okay, well, this trade didn't yield this big profit that I was looking for. I'm not down a lot, or I only made a little bit of money. So what do I do? You can close the whole position out. Or you know what I'm saying? It's just like it be those things. 'Cause this just doesn't apply to Target, KK. This
Yeah,
applies to like multiple trades that, you know, where if it's a big trade, they're expecting a big move, and it's like, okay, well, it was only up $100 at market open. I didn't take profit, so now I'm down 50%. Are we still in this trade? Stuff like that. So I don't know. I just feel like I should have listened to you with the target play and start. Sorry that I rambled on with that and kind of got lost down a rabbit hole on that one. But the crazy thing is, it's just that we gotta. It's important because in the future I just won't alert those type of trades anymore. And I know I said that before, but you know, it's just every now and then I try again. And yeah, but
yeah.
you know,
But you started with a major point that I want, people in our community to know about is that you look for you are searching for the high probability trades. That's what we get in. So when, I see how a lot of people trade in the group, and we watch things, and I'm always concerned when I hear like certain things coming out of, like wanting plays back to back to back and all of that type of stuff.
mm,
Like the way that I've been taught to trade, and I'm just, I've been in this community. So the way that I've been taught to trade is I'm never pressed to trade every day. Like I'm not. I know that the person that's calling out the plays in our community is looking for that type of play that's gonna get me in and out the bank with the biggest amount of money, right?
right.
and and then I can chill. Like I will take my profit in the morning. I mean, that was how I had to originally trade because I was working in a more structured environment at that time. So I knew, okay, I take swing trades, I take my profit in the morning, and I go about my day. And so being patient and being like, okay, he didn't call a trade today. He might not call a trade at the end of the day, but he might call that trade in the morning. Like I'm willing to wait for you to examine this market and pick the best probability of me getting in and out as quick as possible. And
Let's
I
talk
feel
about
like,
this. Yo, go
right.
ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like we really need to start people need to start practicing and being that disciplined to be able to really take advantage of the market.
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally. And it's like, listen, I fired my job over 5 years ago, right? And I didn't fire my job to be tethered to the market. And I'm not saying, oh, I don't want to work with you guys or we're not going to work together or none of those things. What I'm saying is, I don't trade every day. I trade when I'm in the zone. You want me to trade when I'm in the zone.
Mhm.
That's what you want. You want to know that when I call out a trade, you should be in that trade. I don't want to. It's like, okay, well, it's Tuesday. It's turnaround Tuesday, so we're getting on the stream, and it's going to be a trade today.
Mhm.
Look, if it's turnaround Tuesday and we're already in existing trades and I don't have a trade idea or I don't have a new trade, I'll get on the stream and we'll manage the existing trade or something like that, or I'll answer questions. But that's just because we're on the stream, that doesn't mean there's going to be a new trade. I don't want to be, I'm not a trading bot. I don't want to be just alerting trades, just doing risky stuff out here. If any of my mentors were to ever come in just secretly, like listening on our streams or just like monitor our community for a whole month, they would be proud. Like, okay, discipline over here. He's not just out here trading every day. He's not recklessly throwing these people in trades and going to the gym and going out of town or just or and just because they want to be a trade, they want to be in a trade and they need that itch to be fulfilled. I'm not doing that. And I see a lot of I see the passive aggressiveness sometimes where people like, well, asking like, oh, I wonder what's going on with this stock or that stock, to try to get you to alert a trade. Like, listen, it's different levels in this community. So even on days where I'm not trading, sometimes I post a lot of chart alerts, trade ideas, right? And where I just post the charts with entries and exits and and price targets and we got and more advanced traders that's all they need. They go and put the triggers on the charts and when those alerts get hit, they look for a setup and they take those trades. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna trade. That doesn't mean that I'm looking to trade that day. That doesn't mean that just because it's $1,000 Thursday that I'm alerting a trade that day. It doesn't mean that because like look at the month of May, for example. There were a lot of new members who joined from May 15th on for the second half of the month, but we were we were already up north of $4,000, 4,500 by mid-May. So I slowed down the tempo because like there are quotas that I look to hit, and I had there are things that I'm looking to do, and I'm not looking to just be a trading bot. Number one, we got certain catalysts that we like to trade every month, and I like to plan around those. And sometimes they are more expensive than the average trade. So if I know I just ran the team up, $5,000, and we got a whole 2 weeks left in the month, or yeah, $5,000, we got like 8 days left in a month, and I'm taking a break back. I'm taking some time back and I'm scaling out and I'm out of and sometimes there are situations in the market where that creates uncertainty. I'm not just a trading bot, somebody who just looks for trades and looking to trade all day long, got this itch to be in the market. I used to be that way, but the more opportunities you look at it like this. It's like going in the street or whatever. But I always use the shark infested waters analogy. If we're going in shark infested waters every day to get food to feed our family. The people who scalp, they go in there and grab one fish really quickly and jump out. But during the time in there grabbing that one fish, a shark could get you. You know what I mean? You're still putting yourself at risk. So if I'm gonna go in shark infested waters to feed my family, I want to make it count. I want to go in there. I want to take as least amount of trips into shark infested waters as possible. So I want to make those bigger moves so I don't have to expose myself to those risks as often. And so I know best. I know best. Every month we clear over a certain amount. We haven't had one month this year where we cleared less than $4,600. And that's for those who just buy one option per trade alert. So for every trade that I alert, you only buy one contract. And we've been burning it down all year. So I just need this to stand out. So new members who are joining the community because you're seeing the profits, I always tell y'all, just wait it out. Give me 30 days. You paid for 30 days, right? So just let it play out. Don't be having an itch because I posted some charts and you don't and I ain't alert a trade today. So now you see more experienced traders talking about the entries and stuff, or they jumped into a trade. So now you jumped in the trade. I ain't alert a trade. So now when it's time for me to alert a trade, you don't have any money because you blew your account or you already in some trades that you overheard some people talking about it, jumped in. I alert the trades and the solidified callouts channel when I see fit, and I'm gonna make sure that y'all get y'all money. It's just not gonna be an everyday thing. I don't trade every single day. So don't, a lot of people wake up in the morning like, ready to trade. I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at the news, I'm reading KK's
Right.
articles because she's gonna let us know what the future's doing. She's gonna let us know if we're in any existing trade, she's gonna post an article about is something related to the sector or those specific companies, and or if there's something else that we got going on or something specific in the market that's going on, news that's market worthy news, she's going to post that information. And that's sometimes that information kind of gauges whether what I'm going to do. Like, okay, cool, we got this catalyst. Oh, Trump's speaking at 2 p.m. today. All right, cool. So I'm gonna make sure if we are going to do something, it'll be after Trump speak because I already know how that's going to go. It's like I gauge all of those things, and we analyze all of this information and put it together. That's how we do things around here. So certain days there won't be trades. Y'all don't look at the news. Y'all don't know what's going on. I know best. And then some days I'm just not trading. Y'all want the best me. Y'all want me at 100. Like for example, when I'm in the zone, my team know when I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
When I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone. That's when you want me trading. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not trading that day. I'm very comfortable. When I say comfortable, I'm not talking about me and my wealth or lifestyle or whatever like that. I'm talking about in terms of what I've done for the team each month. When
Hmm.
I say, you know what, I'm chilling, it can be the first of the month like it is right now. So we got a whole new month starting right now. If I say, you know what, I'm chilling, that's fine. I got a whole month to run y'all up. You know what I'm saying? Just chill and wait, chill with me and wait with me. That's all you got to
Absolutely.
do. If you pay for a service, you pay to be here for a reason. Let me do my job. Let me cook. I'm not going to trade every day. You can't push me to trade. Now, listen, let's say I'm going to tell you some things though. You can bring some ideas to the table. If you see a catalyst or a chart and it looks good or whatever, and it's something that you want to trade, post it in the community. Add us, let us know what's going on. So maybe something that may come out of that. But like I said, I'm trading the same stocks over and over and over again. I like to trade the bread and butter, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's like, we like to stick. Y'all like to go chasing on waterfalls. You know what I mean? TLC told y'all about that long time ago. We like to stick to the rivers and lakes that we used to, and we rinse and repeat over and over and over again. So that's what we want to do here. So if you're here to make money, what I want you guys to do, I want you to go, if you're in the community, there's an option when everybody join, they get tagged in a post and they get DM'd a post that tell them to start here. Go to start here and go here. I had someone DM me yesterday asking about how do I book a coaching a one-on-one. I'm like, damn, that's
Mm.
you DMing the CEO of the company to ask how to book a coaching when it's in the start here. Just showing me that you ain't following my onboarding process. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I ain't trying to go on a tangent about this, but this is all relative because the people who come in here and fail is because they aren't following the process. You know what I mean? And it's just like yeah, I don't want to go off on a tangent about that. KK,
Yeah.
any last things you want to add before we move on?
Um, no, I just want, like you said, let you cook. Um, the return on investment for whatever your membership is, you see the numbers. So that should be your concern, not whether you get in a trade every day. It should be at the end of this 30 days, the money that I invested into this community, what am I yielding back from that? And with one contract per tree, you see what the numbers are. It's people who get multiple contracts, although we say all the time to start with one, but that's okay. If that's your risk management, you know your risk management, and that's what you want to do. But the return on investment is undeniable.
But last thing about that, I'm glad you said that though, because we talk about everybody's risk management. I tell everybody, they say, well, Antoine, why do you say get one contract per trade alert? Because one contract, first of all, like this group is for small account people, and you can start at any scale in this community. So what grabbing one with us is not smoke and mirrors. You see it, no disrespect to nobody, but I be on threads and I see a lot of other, people, communities or traders. putting that information out there and just showing, their profits. And it'd be smoke and mirrors a lot of times. They grabbing 30 contracts for you to make $8,000 or for you to make whatever the money that you make. And so I'm like, damn, they risked all of that money to make that. Or damn, then they were like, oh damn, my nice $5,000 profit. I'm like, damn, he put 7,000 up. What the hell? Like that's too
Right.
much risk for me. But you can take one contract here that you paid $300 for and turn that into 100% profit. You just made a $300, or like I said, you see the average profit per trade is like 200% when you average it out. And so, we making a lot of money around here. You only got to buy one contract. So where I was going with this, I remember the first time I ever bought 10 contracts. It was SPY contracts. And I did not feel very comfortable, and I was asking some of my advisors, I'm like, yo, should I take prop? Should I jump? Should I get out of this trade? And they being scary, they like, oh yeah, I would then if it's down 15%. I mean, that 15% didn't feel good. You know what I mean? Them contracts over $500. I grabbed 10 of them and it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel good being down that much on a trade, the first time I ever bought 10 contracts. So what I told myself is, if I'm antsy and or uncomfortable, then I can't be confident. So let me scale back to a number that I'm more comfortable with. And so that's what I did. Look at it like that. The more contracts you got, if you walking across a bridge across the Grand Canyon, right? And the more contracts you got, the narrower the pathway is. When you scale out of those plays, it broadens up that passageway across there, so you got less chances of falling over and dying, right? So look at it that way. And I know I went on another tangent, but all of this is relative. And this meeting today was more about market talk than anything. I'm only going to hit a few charts today. We got some nice economic data and some events coming up, but I really wanted to focus on this because I need to know we got a lot of new members joining this community, from social media, and they see our numbers and they just want to jump right in. But I really need y'all to follow the process. On this nice, beautiful Sunday, I want you to go and look at that options trading Bible. It's the laws of trading. My laws of trading is listed right there in the start here. All of the information is there for you. I need you guys to do this. I want you to study these things like your life depends on it, because you can replace your job with the money that we make here. I don't know any, like most companies, you gotta make 60,000 a year to make $5,000 a month. You know what I mean? So you gotta make 60,000 a year to do that. So and if you look at our yearly profits for this group as a whole, we already up 34,000 for the year, one contract. So just follow my process. It works. And get out of your own way, whether you got a gambling problem, if you don't have discipline in your real life, it's going to bleed over into your trading. Whoever you are as a person, it will bleed off over into your trading. You have to accept the accountability for what that is, and just trust yourself and know who you are. Yeah. Let me move on because I know me. Unless KK has something to say, because I mean this
No,
is market
no,
talk. It's market talk.
no, that's fine. We can
All
get
right.
to the charts. It's Sunday. Look, I want you to hit that beach. Come on.
All right. Cool.
But we
So
got to
all right.
do our work first. Like y'all see, I'll sacrifice every Sunday. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we sure will. We sure will. We will sacrifice every week just to get it done.
Mhm.
One sec. Matter of fact, let me do economic data first, since I'm already on the screen. All right. And Fed speakers. So we have Logan speaking Monday at 10:15 a.m. They sending Gooseby out there at 12:45 p.m. Now, Gooseby, you got to watch out for Gooseby, but it's cool because Gooseby is speaking right before Powell. They sending Powell out there Monday at 1 p.m. So look, people, listen, they sending Powell out there. I don't know why they sending Powell out there, but one thing I know for sure is they only send Powell out there for one or two reasons: to take the market up or to bring the market down. Then they sending Gooseby back out there on Tuesday at 12:45 p.m. again. So we got these market levies out here. Logan coming back out there Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. But then we got they got Bostic coming out there. Bostic is the Atlanta Fed president, and Bostic been talking shit lately. and he been shaking the table a lot lately. So you got to pay attention to when Goolsby speak. And he's speaking Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. I'm sorry, Bostic 8:30, and we got some economic data that's coming out. We got just the ADP is coming out there on Wednesday, and then we got ISM Services PMI out there too. So they got them out there. So it's a lot of Fed levies out here this week. I'm gonna get over to the rest of that stuff in a second. I want to get through these Fed speakers. They sending Cook out there. I don't know what she's coming out there for, but we got to still pay attention to what Cook has to say too. And she's coming out there at 8:30 a.m. We got Kugler Thursday at noon, and then they send Harker out there Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Watch out for Harker too. Harker has a lot to say and sometimes cause a lot of volatility in the market. So as far as economic data, we have ISM manufacturing PMI Monday. We got JOLTS data Tuesday, and JOLTS is always at 10 a.m. We got ADP payrolls, that's Wednesday. We got ISM services PMI Wednesday. We got jobless claims Thursday, and we got the biggest jobs report of the year happening Friday. So, we're gonna get the non-farm payrolls, we're gonna get the unemployment rate and the average hourly earnings. So let's see how this pans out. This is gonna give us, so we got a nice catalyst this week. I can't wait to go over QQQ. So let's go ahead and switch over to some charts now. I mean, we got some good economic data though this upcoming week. I'm looking forward to what's to come.
I love that jokes is on Tuesday, and I like the 10 o'clock because I'm like ready for that one. Like if it's a nice move, that's always a nice time because it's you got that 30 minutes right before power hour in.
hmm And then we can roll right into, the jokes data. And yeah, and then it's like that's a good time when the market starts to swing.
Hmm.
Oops. Do that. There we go. Let me share my screen. Now make sure you let me know if you can see the chart or not.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So all right, since I got Tesla up, let's start with Tesla. Since we are in a Tesla play, right before the close on Friday, I said, you know what? I saw Tesla falling off a cliff. It was dying, coming down violently. And I said, Tesla's at one of my levels. It's retesting one of my levels that just so happens to line up with the 9 EMA. And you see, it's been holding on to that 9 EMA for a minute, right? So look, it's a risky trade, but the best trades come from these types of risk where, everyone's selling and look violent, but we got bears in the market, but they did not have enough force to push it below the 9 EMA. And it was so crazy because right before the close, I'd already made a decision that we were trading this. But it was hanging. I was just over it for a while. Like for the last minute or so, it was just over it. It was holding over it. But then right like 10 seconds before the close, it jumped back above it. I wasn't worried. I'm like, we trading this. Market structure over EMAs anyway, and it was holding another level. And I already had that's why I like to have levels and to watch out for things to see what's going on. And so yeah, Tesla looks good here. But if Tesla was to lose that 9 EMA, so if we get a close under it, because we can get a lot of things that can happen at market open, but this is about how things finish, right? We got a gap fill right here, a bullish gap fill that could likely play out if Tesla loses that level. Oops, let me get that out of there. Get that out of there. So, I don't really have too much to say about Tesla, but what I will say is that Elon said, here you go. This is where catalyst. It's the catalyst for me. So there was a press conference at 2 p.m. on Friday with President Trump. It was a very long, I think it was like more, it was like 3 o'clock, I believe. Or maybe it started before then, but it bled into power hour. And Elon Musk was at this press conference with Trump, and it was Trump letting us know that today would be Elon's last day, and he was bittersweet about it because Elon's was doing a great job, and Elon's going to go back and work full time for his companies, and Elon is back full time, and we have this Austin cyber taxi catalyst coming up too. So some things going on, and so yeah. So I think this is a good time for for Tesla, and then like I said, it's at a key level. So like, not a key level, but it's at a, a key place where it's been holding. Like I said, every chart tells a story. It's market structure over EMAs, but look, Tesla's been holding up. It's been holding this 9 EMA for a while. So I don't know if y'all can hear that. Can you hear that sound, KK?
No,
You don't hear the noise. You ain't hear like the beeping in the background.
no, it
So the
might have
fire,
been faint.
I think the fire alarm just went off in this hotel. I just hear a fire alarm going off in this hotel. So I am going, hold up, it stopped. Let me see. Maybe somebody pressed it by mistake. I just heard it, but let me see. Damn, that was interesting. But yeah, so you can see here, Tesla's been riding this 9 EMA up for a little while. Now, listen, as long as it holds, we're fine. Now we're thinking about closes. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something though. That's a nice little move. So if we are like, I'll give y'all a put idea though. If it does lose that 370, I'm gonna say 344. Give me 344. That 344.87. Then 339.41 is in play, or whatever this close on this candle is. That's 339, 339, 34. Yeah. So that would be in play, right? But Tesla most likely bounces here, and the first target would be that 350, that 353.72, and then we got a gap fill, and then we got 360 again. So, but it could, because otherwise, like I said, this thing violently goes all the way down to 330 if it loses that 9 EMA. So if we get a close under that 9 EMA, look for Tesla to violently die and drop down. But I think we got in at a perfect place for it to bounce here. So yeah, keep Tesla on watch. Hit QQQ really quickly. Yeah. Oops. Because the monthly candles closed on Friday on a lot of stocks. Well, on every stock in ETF. This was very some really great resurgence here that we had on QQQ. Now y'all see this. This is a nice hammer right here. And look at all of this volatility and how things ended up finishing. So like some people don't understand. Like I always talk about candlesticks or whatever. I love candlesticks because candlesticks are gonna tell you the story. And basically what we had happen, look, so some people don't pay attention to the market all day and they just be in stuff, right? QQQ opened at 519.11 and closed at 519.44. So like within a 30-cent range of where it opened. But look at the volatility. The low on that was 511 and the high on it was 520. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So that was a huge, huge volatility, huge move, right? So what this candle says to me is, well, it's a doji hammer, right? What this means is bears drag price all the way down here. QQQ, it looked like they were gonna die in a violent death, right? Defeated. And the Bulls fought. They fought from down, 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 and came all the way back. New York couldn't do that last night, but the Bulls did that on Friday and closed back up here within less than 30 cent than where it opened at. So that's a win for the Bulls. That's bullish. So some people are like, well, there go a 222 reversal. There's a 222 nigga. I mean, sorry. Look at the context. It's context everywhere. Context. It went down there and bounced. We got to close over the 9 EMA. Everything it bounced right there. So now, unless there's some bad news or something like that, this is a good bounce right here. I like that bounce, and you got to pay attention to that because if it was an end death die story, then why didn't it close down here? Now look at the weekly. Let's zoom out on QQQ. Nice close on the weekly. Really nice close here. Damn, where did that candle come from? Hold on one sec. Nice gap up there on that. So here we go. We got a three. What is that? A 322, a 322 here, and still finish in green and play. On here. So let's see exactly how this plays out. But I like what I see on QQQ here. So I'll say over 520.68. Look for a move back up to 523.66 and then 526.48. Now, if we were to lose that 511.93, look for a move, a retest of But that's it. Yeah. If I were to lose the 511.93, look for a retest of that 509.17 and then possibly back down there to 502.85. So keep QQQ on watch. I think this is a buy the dip situation. Like I think what I mean by that, I mean I think the market is back in buy the dip territory because that's what's been happening. One second. Snow. Snow, 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 snow. All right, so we got snow here. Let me zoom out a little bit on snow because I see a line that I drew there and I can't really see it. I got to, when in doubt, you zoom out. When in doubt, you zoom out. Okay, nice. Snow got a lot of room here. You see that KK one, as you would say, it looked like it wants to stretch its legs.
Mhm.
So here's snow. Snow looks great here, by the way. I had this line, this level here, and it's dancing, it's playing up around here now. So what I'll say is over 206, look for a retest of 209.36, and then we got 215 and 217.15. If we were to lose that 199.75, look for a retest. I'm sorry, next target would be the 198.07, then 197.47, 191.23 on that. But yeah, looks good, looks good. Meta platforms, meta platforms. I love a nice meta chart. Love a nice meta chart. Meta was getting active on Friday a little bit too.
Mhm.
All right, so we had that little 222 reversal there, bounce off the 9 EMA for Meta. Oops, hold on, that out of there. Keep that there. So we had that for Meta, and see what's up with this here. So we got that 222 reversal bounce here, finished with like a pin bar like hammer. I'll say for Meta Man over 649.41. Look for a retest of hold on, I said over 649. Yeah, 649.41. Look for a retest of 659.76. And we got higher levels up there. From there, we got the 70 plus 671.45. I'm sorry, 43, 680. Now, if we were to lose that 632.78, look for a retest of 629.21, 614.30, and 605.66. I like Meta here. Let me zoom out and look at the weekly here on the Meta on Meta. Yeah, Meta looks good. And like I said, the monthly finished on Friday for a lot of these stocks. So yeah, where are my favorites? So I'm working with one screen right now, one monitor. This is terrible. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all do it. Yeah, this look good.
What
Nice
about
close in
you?
the month. Yeah, nice close in the month for Meta. It looked like it definitely wants to get at. Well, this guy got active this month. Like I said, people look at things in a vacuum. You zoom out and see what's really going on. Meta making that move right now. Meta looks great here. So yeah, we're gonna keep that on watch. Let's keep that on watch, man. And let me go. Um, what did I say I was gonna do? Shoot, it was something that I had. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okta. Here's Okta. Right. So Okta, bad earnings, but they had a good earnings. But the guy, there some uncertainty. You see, we went up here, we rejected the non-EMA, tried to get back above it, rejected the non-EMA, and violently flushed down. Went up here, lost the support level, came down here to my next support level, bounced off of here, went back up, rejected resistance again, made a third attempt at it, violently flushed down through the next support level, and then finished just above this one right here. So, what do they want to do here with this? What do they want to do here? Before I go any further, let me zoom out. Look at this. Look at the levels that we have here. So, are we going to bounce here finally, or are we going to continue to go down? It completed the round trip. Now, let's see what the monthly says. Bearish engulfing, closing the whole month with a bearish engulfing. So, that typically, we if the when a stock or a stock like this, typically if we finish with a bearish or bullish engulfing on the month, the next month follows suit. We get a continuation in that price action. And so right now, if you zoom out a little bit, you see this big ass bearish flag that's forming here on the monthly chart, right? It's playing, it's respecting it and everything. And it's at the top of the range of the what's the name? The channel on the flag. So it looked like it's coming down some more. Look like it's coming down some more here. So again, it's a monthly chart. One candle represents one, each candle represents 1 month of price action. We could get a bounce first, possibly, but it looked like it definitely wants the continuation to the downside. This could be something great for us to watch as a team. It moves kind of slow. Um, After an earnings print, and then it'll consolidate for a little while in the channel. Then we get a big move again. But keep it on watch. This is a great stock. I love the company as an identity provider. I have an IT background and we used to use this software. So it's a pretty good. I like Okta. I like Okta. So keep that on watch. I'm not going to hit any more stocks right now, KK.
I was gonna just ask, I thought you were gonna do APP, but that's okay.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Yes, I am going to do APP.
Okay.
Thank you. One of my favorites. My favorite stock. Second favorite stock. I gotta stop saying stuff like that because people wanna now it's gonna be everybody's favorite stock. So, I don't want to see it over in the garden. Let me see. 1 second. APP. This was a beautiful close. Look at this channel breakout right here. We got a nice channel breakout. Came back up, broke out, retested the breakout area, right? Held it as support, bounced off the 9 EMA. It looks great here, finishing with a hammer. So over 394.24. I'm looking for a move back up there to 400. Now, let's just be clear, just for full transparency here. Let me just make sure. Um, I am bullish on Okta. I am extremely bullish on it. I can't say what's going to happen, but I'm bullish on it. It looked like it definitely wants to get back up there, retest that 400, and then we got a few gap fill areas up in here, like a little small gaps and stuff like that. I'm going to just mark that area here. So, so I'm looking for that retest of 400, and then we got 410. Now, Okta's a runner. This stock moves. It moves like a
APP. I just want for he's talking about
APP.
APP.
What did I say?
Octa.
Okay, APP, yeah, because we on the APP chart, yeah. So APP, it moves substantially. Thank you, KK. So yeah, but if we were to lose that 234.56, look for a retest of if we lose 234 56, look for a retest of the three, I'm gonna say 325.47 and then 318.27 and then possibly down to 303 again. But it looked like it's ready to go. Let's keep app loving on watch. Here's the weekly right here. It's en route. It has look, it has dreams. It has dreams. Look at that green oscillator bar right here. Turning up, we
Yes.
got the MACD line turning up, crossing up over the signal line. It got momentum, and that's how we finished the week. Look at that momentum on there. It's ready. She's ready to go.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's keep that on watch. Look, I'm about to go I'm ready to go down here and get into this infinity pool and chill out. I'm gonna post this immediately. Everybody enjoy the rest of your days. Thank you for hopping on here, KK, and I'll
Well,
later. Cheers.
cheers.